I came home from a war and you sold my house. Where exactly am I supposed to go now? That's what popped into my head the second I saw that big, ugly sold sign swinging on my old lawn, sunlight flashing off it like some kind of cosmic joke, same exact morning my boots hit the curb after deployment. Yeah, neighbors froze mid-sip like somebody had just hit pause on the world. You want to picture the queen bee? That's Karen Delaney, HOA president, master of petty rules. Her kingdom was Ridgewood Estates, and she ruled it with a death grip and a perfect manicure. She's out there watering her precious roses, pretending she can't see me, but I know she can, because the moment she actually spots me, she just flat out drops her garden hose right there in the grass. For a heartbeat, I swear I saw a ghost in her eyes, and I guess for a second I kind of was. I didn't even know what to say. I just stood there in my dusty fatigues, duffel bag in one hand, feeling like the ground under my feet wasn't really mine anymore. The water from her hose snaked across the sidewalk, hissing and pooling around my boots, almost taunting, really. And the first thing out of my mouth, as dumb as it sounds, was, "Guess I came back too soon." Karen's jaw worked like she couldn't decide if she should scream, faint, or try to blame this all on a miscommunication. Still cracks me up. But let me tell you, that single sentence? That was it. That was the crack that split open every rotten lie Karen and that HOA built while I was overseas. I just stood there, staring at my house, or what used to be my house. They gave it a new facelift, new shutters, fancy porch chairs. Heck, even the door was a bland, sterile beige instead of the blue my sister and I picked out. And the flag I'd left before deployment? Gone. In its place, some tacky luxury living property sticker. It was a slap in the face, but honestly, I wasn't even mad yet, just empty. I remembered shaking hands with Sheriff Brooks before I left, good man, promising the HOA would keep an eye on things. Yeah, well, apparently they did. Too well. As my cab pulled away, neighbors started peeking through their curtains, and I knew news would beat me to my own driveway. That's small-town magic for you. Nothing moves faster than a secret. By the time I got to the gate, there was already a little courtroom gallery forming, folks whispering like I was a ghost story come to life. Karen tried to put on her best soap opera face, lipstick trembling, hand to her chest, chirping out, "Ethan, my goodness, we were told you didn't make it." Real Oscar-worthy stuff. You know that moment when you see the strings behind a puppet show? That's all I saw. I just shot back. Guess someone jumped the gun. She starts fumbling with her clipboard, because of course she never went anywhere without that thing. Mumbling about paperwork mix-ups, government confusion, like she was hoping I'd just vanish out of embarrassment. But the act fell apart when I asked, straight up, "Who signed the sale authorization?" Her face shadowed over caught. She glanced at the crowd, then, all whispery, "Let's step inside the clubhouse. Ethan, we can clear this up privately." I went, but only because I wanted to hear her spin her story before I started tearing it apart. Inside the clubhouse, the air smelled like lemon polish and raw panic. There were photos of Karen shaking hands with city council folks, ribbon cuttings, charity drives, a little suburban empire all about her. She offered me coffee, doing her best concerned citizen bit. "You must be jet-lagged." I told her, "Been awake 36 hours, Karen. A cup of coffee won't fix what you sold." That's when she tried the official line. The Department of Defense sent a notice. My name was on a casualty list. So I asked, "And you verified that with who?" Because my sister never got anything. She started to unravel right there, babbling about processing errors, but I just sat back and let the silence grow heavier and heavier. Heavier than any interrogation I'd ever done overseas. Finally, she broke. It wasn't personal. The community needed the sale. Abandoned property drags down value. Like she was reciting meeting notes. I told her, "You mean your developer friend needed another house to flip?" Got her. Stepping outside, the neighbors swarmed. Old Mr. Pendleton whispered, "Karen told us there was a memorial at City Hall. Said your unit never made it." I just nodded and walked off. My goal wasn't a shouting match. It was proof. Rage burns out fast. Paper trails last. So I checked into a dingy motel and spent the whole night hunched over county records, my hands still stiff from months of holding a rifle. Property transfers, insurance claims, HOA meeting minutes, with my name penciled in beside deceased. Dead men aren't supposed to laugh, but I did, just once a dry little bark. Right there in those files, I found it, Mark Jennings. Contractor, buyer rep, developer with a taste for flipping military homes, marked foreclosed. This wasn't just a betrayal. It was a business plan. At dawn, I called Sheriff Brooks. He answered like I was calling from Mars. Thought you were halfway across the world. I said, so did everyone else. He asked, they sold your house? I told him, not just mine. Karen's been running a graveyard economy. He got quiet. Give me 2 hours. We'll start digging. Before I left my room, I looked at a photo. I'd carried the whole deployment. Me on my porch, flag waving, Karen in the background at a block party, back when her biggest worry was mailbox colors. Somewhere along the line, she figured out that control equals profit. I tucked that photo in my jacket and stepped outside. Overseas war was done. This one was just getting started. Sunrise found Karen pacing her kitchen, phone pressed to her ear, whispering to Mark about containment and legal exposure. Little did she know, I'd already copied every file, locked them in storage, and sent digital backups to my sister. Sheriff was on his way. Every neighbor who used to tiptoe around her was now talking about the soldier who came back from the dead to reclaim his home. I stood by the cul-de-sac as cars rolled out for work. Each driver gave me a look like I was a headline. The new owner's kid waved from my old porch, totally oblivious to the mess. I waved back. Don't worry, kid. I'm not here to take it back. I'm here to take the truth back. Next day, Karen tried to distract the neighborhood. Through a community tribute breakfast, banners flapping, honoring our fallen hero, with me standing in the back, hoodie and sunglasses, listening to folks talk about how bravely I died. Even had a slideshow ripped off my Facebook and a speech about how the HOA kept my memory alive. Mark Jennings was there too, beaming, talking about redevelopment opportunities and honoring veterans. I had to bite my tongue not to laugh. Afterward, I drove to the address for luxury living properties. Receptionist turned white as a sheet when she saw me. Mr. Cole, you're alive. She pulled up the deed. Mark Jennings Development Company, my signature, but my middle initial had a flourish I never used. It was a forgery. Notary was an HOA member who'd retired to Florida last year. I asked for a printout. She slid it across, glancing at the cameras. That night, I met Brooks at the diner, handed over the fake deed. He was shaking his head, jaw tight. Son, I was at that memorial. She had your flag folded on the table. Even I believed it. I showed him every forged paper. She did it all. Sale, death notice, insurance. I'm not the only one. Brooks scanned through, muttering curses. No confirmation letter from the military. Just HOA approval. Exactly. She wrote her own authority. If she did it to me, she's done it before. That night, I parked near the clubhouse, camera rolling, caught Karen muttering in her phone, "Don't tell me he's back." That's impossible. Slammed the phone, stormed off. Proof in hand, I hit the county recorder's office next morning. Clerk brings out a stack of Ridgewood HOA transfers thick as a cinder block. Hours I spent. 3 more names, all military, marked deceased, home sold through the same bogus emergency reassignment clause. Fake ordinance. I scanned everything, labeled, stored digital backups. This wasn't just my fight anymore. That evening, Karen called an emergency HOA meeting. She forgot to scrub me from the mailing list. I sat in the back, hat low, listening to her blabber about dangerous rumors and unauthorized returns, her way of saying I was alive. Mid-meeting, her phone buzzed, and she froze, eyes wide. I stood up slow. Since you're discussing reputation, maybe explain why you told the county I was dead. The whole room went silent. Karen tried to spin it. Paperwork, misunderstanding. Sheriff Brooks slipped in, badge gleaming, took the printed deed from my hand. Funny thing about misunderstandings, Brooks said, they usually stop when lawyers get involved. Karen dropped her pen. I looked at those neighbors, people I'd served to protect, who believed her. Never thought I'd have to come back and protect my own home from my own HOA. I could feel that land like a hammer. Brooks warned me, she'll double down before she cracks. I told him, let her. I watched Karen's car peel out, taillights red in the dark. The war was on. Not bullets, but paperwork and patience. Overseas, The key to victory is striking last, when the enemy thinks they've already won. I spent nights tracing signatures, building timelines. It wasn't just me. Karen's bylaw let her seize any house if the owner was presumed dead, no next of kin. No real verification. Her masterpiece of corruption. Brooks and I combed through records, found an old HOA meeting agenda, 9B covenant update, only her signature on it. That was the smoking gun. Just as we found that, her ex-husband George rolled in, letters in hand, Karen bragging about her plan to simplify reassignment using military deployments. She'd been plotting this for years. We set a trap, an open house to restore trust. Karen showed up, couldn't resist a stage. I asked on camera, so is restoring order the same as rewriting laws to take homes from deployed soldiers? Her mask slipped. Those properties were abandoned. I only followed the covenant. Brooks stepped forward with the unsigned agenda. The crowd started whispering. Karen's last gasp. I did what I had to do. Nobody respects order anymore. I told her, you stole from soldiers to feel powerful. That's not order. That's greed with a name tag. She realized, too late. She confessed in front of the sheriff and half the neighborhood. 2 deputies walked her out just as the rain started pounding the windows. Brooks waited outside, cigarette glowing. You get your confession? I nodded. She thought the covenant would protect her. Turns out it condemned her. Mark Jennings got picked up trying to run, duffel bags packed with deeds. He cracked fast, gave up everything. Their little scheme, targeting deployed owners, fake death notices, pocketing the profits, was bigger than just Ridgewood. Federal charges. The HOA dissolved. For the first time, Ridgewood felt like a real neighborhood again. At trial, Karen's lawyer tried to play her as a misunderstood leader, but the evidence was brutal. Forged deeds, fake signatures, taped confessions. I told the court, I found a stranger living in my house. My flag gone, my name marked deceased, a sold sign on my lawn. This wasn't a mistake. This was a business plan. The prosecutor showed Karen's own words. Those properties were abandoned. Jennings confirmed it all. Guilty on every count. Judge thanked me for my service, not just overseas. When I finally got home, Brooks handed me my old folded flag. This goes back where it belongs. The neighborhood gathered, not out of curiosity, but gratitude. New owners, Dylan and Marissa, helped repaint the porch. I let them stay until their new place was ready. You were victims too, I told them. We grilled burgers, fixed fences, even misses. Tully brought cookies. For the first time since coming home, I felt something close to peace. Not the kind you chase, but the kind that comes quiet when you've done what needed to be done. Letter came from the VA. My case helped recover 17 homes stolen the same way. Congress was reviewing new laws. The night before Karen's sentencing, I walked to the new community sign. There's a plaque for every veteran who lived there. My name was last, no bigger, no bolder than anyone else's. That's the way it should be. Home isn't a house. It's people willing to fight for each other when it counts. At the next block party, I raised a toast to all of us because nobody fights alone. Laughter rolled across the lawns. Kids chased sparklers. Brooks told old stories. Emily gave me a photo album from before it all changed. You should frame that, she said. It's history now. I smiled. History belongs to the ones who survive it. When I finally lay down, porch light steady, I thought about every soldier whose name had been abused by people like Karen and Jennings. I fought for them, not for revenge, but for truth. That's what this victory means. It belongs to every voice ever silenced by fake authority, every home bullied by bureaucracy, every veteran forgotten. The war took my peace, but this fight gave me purpose. And now, as the sun comes up over Ridgewood, I finally get to say it. Home at last. But what about you? If you found out your community leaders were stealing from those who defend us, would you stand up or just hope someone else does it for you? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about what justice looks like and how far you'd go to protect what's yours.